evening to speak on issues specific to young people in the Constitution. And I will start with a short excerpt from the preamble of the Constitution. It says that, "We the Guyanese people, proud heirs of the indomitable will of our forebears, and in the spirit of reconciliation and cooperation, proclaim that this Constitution, in order to acknowledge the aspirations of our young people, who in their own words have declared that the future of Guyana belongs to its young people, who aspire to live in a safe society, which respects their dignity, protects their rights, recognizes their potential, listens to their voices, provides opportunities, ensures a healthy environment, and encourages people of all races to live in harmony and peace, and affirm that their declaration will be binding on our institutions and be part of the context of our basic law." Now, the declarations in the preamble are profound and really require a lot of time for us to dissect and arrive at clear meaning of what it is saying. But we can ask a very basic question, and that is whether the reality of the Guyanese youth really and truly give effect to the declarations in the preamble to the Constitution. And as a youth and having interacted with young people across the spectrum in Guyana, I'd have to say that we haven't fully realized the words that are written there and brought them to life for the Guyanese youth. Now, when youth unemployment levels remain above 40%, and young people are either not consulted or consulted only on a cosmetic basis on matters of national importance, it cannot really be said that we've given full effect. And when key positions are often reserved for older people, we haven't really tapped into the potential of our young people. And so really fail to honor the spirit of the preamble of the Constitution and by virtue the Constitution itself. And so therefore, I commend the University of Guyana for inviting the voice of youth to add its perspective to this important discussion. And often when we say the words that the future of Guyana belongs to the young people, we usually mean that young people should wait until such time as the future arrives in order to take over this country. But I would like to submit that since we're the ones who will inherit what comes out of this process and will be tasked with building on what is created now, that we should really be integrally involved in every stage of the policy-making process. Right, and so necessarily this also means that as it relates to constitutional reform, that every aspect of it concerns youth. And so I'd like to say that every issue as it really relates to the Constitution is really a youth issue because youth issues are cross-cutting. Secondly, as a youth, we would like to also join the call for the abolition of the list system for the identification of members of Parliament and would favor a more constituency-based first-past-the-post system. Now, this is in the spirit of Article 9 of the Constitution, which speaks to sovereignty being in the hands of the people who express that through their representatives. And so if we're to really express our sovereignty through our representatives, then we feel that we should have a more direct role in selecting our representatives. And so given the list system, we don't know who our representatives are, and so we can't hold them to account, but more importantly, they don't depend on the constituents to maintain their seats in Parliament, and so they don't really have an obligation to us, they more have an obligation to their political parties, and so we think that this can change by moving away from the current list system and giving more power to the people. And so, now, notwithstanding that, I'd like to conclude by saying that while the Constitution in its current form may not be perfect, it is not really the Constitution that has failed to achieve national goals. It's really the way we have executed what is written in the Constitution and the way we fail to bring it to life. And so I'd like to charge that constitutional reform or not, it is the duty of every Guyanese, both young and old, to be the guardians of the Constitution. We have to know what is written there, and so we can understand the principles upon which our country should be governed. We can recognize violations of the Constitution, and more importantly, we can speak up when we see things not being done in the way they're supposed to do, and even challenge them at the level of the judiciary. And so, in keeping with the time limits and everything else, I will stop there and say thank you.